Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. First, we do want to go over just that we do understand that these times people are not traveling, but these presentations are meant to educate you for destinations that might be on your bucket list. We love talking about travel, and that's most likely the reason why all of us have become travel agents here. So today we are very super excited to address all your burning questions about the RIU resorts. But first, let's introduce ourselves. My name is James, and I'm the branch manager at the Yonge Street location. And I've been in the travel industry for the past 6 years, and I've been with Sell Off Vacations for the past 3. I have 2 other wonderful agents with me here today, Regina and Denise. Regina, would you mind introducing yourself?
Of course. Hello, everyone. I am the branch manager at the Winston Churchill location in Mississauga, and I have been with Sell Off Vacations for 5 years.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Denise, and I'm the branch manager for the Ajax Sell Off Vacations office, and I've been with Sell Off Vacations for over 4 years now.
Amazing, you two. So just a quick note to everyone watching, we do have a chat box, so if you do have any questions that you want us to answer, please make sure you throw them in there, and we'll do our best to get to them during our presentation. So let's just jump right into it. First question for everyone here today is, what's your favorite RIU and why?
Oh, I'd like to start that. My favorite hotel is the RIU Bamboo in Punta Cana. I have been there twice. Both times were girls' trips with the women in my family. We were around 5 to 7 ladies. We had gone back twice as we enjoyed the variety of restaurants, the fun activities, and the awesome staff. We had a lot of fun partying up at the swim-up bar and at the pool party, as well as enjoying the long stretch of beach. How about you, Denise?
For me, my favorite is the RIU Palace Costume Harris. It is a fantastic property, and it's only a few years old. It's very modern, very spacious, and it's located in a developing area just north of Cancun. The resort itself is large, but it's still easy to get around, and it has so many amazing amenities, including some absolutely awesome swim-up rooms. It's located also next to the RIU Denimar, and together they share an amazing beach and water park.
Wow, those are 2 great hotels. But for my favorite, I do have to say it's going to be the RIU Palace Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
That's also a good one. Yeah.
Great resort. Yeah.
Good choice.
Speaking of the Costa Rica one, I found a pretty unique experience at that hotel. So if you walk down the beach to the right of the resort, there's a monkey bar, which not only serves drinks, but if you go at the right time and have some food in your hands, the monkeys may approach you and you can actually feed them.
Oh, no way.
Cool.
I really missed out on that one because I didn't really know about that when I went. I knew there was activities close by, but we kind of just stayed on the resort and did some activities off-site. But for the hotel, the reason why I chose it to be my favorite is it's got the amazing activities, which is just walking distance from the resort. And also just like what you said, Denise, about the RIU sharing the same facilities, this one shares the one next door to it with the RIU Guanacaste. It's a really cool salt and pepper beachfront as well. And then when we were at this resort, we were very lucky enough to upgrade it ourselves to the ocean view room when we ended up getting the top level dead center room of the resort. So it had the best views of the resort and the oceans when we woke up in the morning with our coffees on the balcony. It was just amazing.
Oh, wow, James, that ocean view sounds really great. When I stayed there, I had a garden view room, it was lovely, but it was on the main floor, which I don't think I'd recommend that as we had some small visitors in our room. Definitely when booking this resort, I would suggest a higher floor. Let's check in with Shannon and see if we have any questions yet.
Hey everybody, nice to see you guys. We do have a few questions here to start with. The first one here is someone is actually asking, do we sell the RIU, do you sell the RIUs in Spain? Denise, I think I'll put that one to you.
For sure, yeah. So we do sell the RIUs in Spain. There's over 20 of them. We do sell actually all the RIUs around the world. So there's many, many different locations. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I think you've stayed at a resort in Europe, perhaps, the RIU.
Yeah, I've actually stayed at the RIU Berlin.
Okay.
It was really nice.
Lucky you, lucky you.
For sure.
That's awesome. And one more here is someone said they heard that there was water slides at some of the RIUs, and wondering how tall you'd have to be at the water slides. Denise, do you know that?
For sure, yeah. So there are several water parks at several destinations with the RIUs. The minimum height requirement is around 4 feet.
Okay, perfect. I have a few comments coming in. Someone said their favorite resort is the RIU Jalisco. Someone else said, I think they were referring to the Costa Rica RIU when you were speaking of it, that's one of their favorites. That was Brian. Let's see, do we have any more? I think we have, is RIU ever going to go back to Cuba? And if so, when? I think that's something we're certainly not sure of, but Regina, would you be able to touch on that?
I am not 100% sure on that one. They did have it at one time and then they left a while ago. I don't know if they're going to be looking at them in the future for Cuba, but
yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's a little harder to put big brands in Cuba because there's such control with the government there.
True.
So they just find it a lot more difficult to, I guess, maintain their brand, right? Like RIU is very consistent across their brand, and they're not really able to do that in Cuba as easily. So I don't personally, obviously I don't know, but I don't see them reopening in Cuba unless some of those kind of things change. So
that's a good point, Shannon. That's a very good point.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all the questions we have for now. We'll continue with the presentation, but certainly check in with me again shortly.
For sure. No, it sounds good. Those are some fantastic questions. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So keep them coming in for sure. Yeah. Well, between the three of us, I think it's pretty obvious that we all love a good RIU property. Just out of curiosity, James and Regina, how many have you been to?
Well, I'll start off on this one since you started last time. So, Regina, so for the RIUs, they are definitely my most visited resorts since traveling. I've stayed at about 3 or maybe 4 or more, but I have definitely visited over 10 RIUs. One of the main reasons why I do like the RIUs is because of the consistency of the brand. Majority of the RIUs are very similar to each other. They're all in kind of like a U shape. They've all got their also unique flair for the local environment as well. When I travel to the RIU, I know where the pool bar is going to be. It's kind of dead center in the middle of the resort. And then over to the right of there should be the lunch buffet. So it's very easy to navigate and know where to go. That's also one of the main things about when I'm talking with the customers. It's very easy to get them to go from one RIU to another in a different country because they know that they've had a great experience in the past and that even if they go to a different country, they're going to have the same level of experience there. What about yourself, Regina? How many have you been to?
I think I've been to about 6 RIUs. Same thing. I like the consistency. The staff, entertainment are just top notch in my opinion. Service oriented, friendly. I know what to expect when I go to a RIU. You will find similarities at almost all of the RIUs. The entertainment standards are the same, but the type of entertainment varies between destinations as they put their own little local flair in them. So the RIUs has it all. It has it all for families, couples, and singles. How about you, Denise?
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome, guys. Well, not to brag, but I think I got you both beat. I've been lucky to stay and visit over 15 RIUs.
Oh, wow.
So,
excuse me. Jeez, how many
I like RIUs. Wow. What can I say? Wow. So I have been to RIUs. Yeah, for sure. I've been to RIUs in the Caribbean, in the US, Europe, and as far away as Mauritius. So it's a tiny little island in the Indian Ocean. And again, the consistency was there and I had some fantastic vacations.
Well, that's awesome. Awesome.
Fantastic. Now, if you are or aren't familiar with the RIU properties, you may know that there's actually 3 levels of RIUs. So we're just going to touch on those 3 levels a little bit here. So the first one is RIU. So these are their introductory properties. They're all fantastic 4.5 star properties, and they've got all the amenities that you could want. They've got the swim up bars, buffet restaurants, lots of different dining options, entertainment, everything that you could want at an all-inclusive. They're fantastic. But if you're looking for a little bit of a step up, they do have their RIU Palace resorts. So you will find at the RIU Palaces, everything is just a little bit more upgraded. These are all 5.5 star properties, and you will find extra little amenities like unlimited Wi-Fi, 24-hour room service, wait service on the beach and around the pools. And as we mentioned before, you will tend to find that there's RIUs and RIU Palaces together in the same complex, and sometimes they'll even have exchange privileges or sharing privileges between the properties. So again, it's another little added bonus for staying at a RIU. The third type of RIU is the RIU Plaza hotels. So these are their city hotels. They're not generally all-inclusive, but they do offer breakfast plans. They're in great locations, city locations throughout the world. So as I mentioned before, I've stayed at the one in Berlin, but there's also locations in New York, Miami, San Francisco, Ireland. There's some awesome options for sure if you're looking for more of a city stay.
Oh, that's great. So that is one of the other reasons why I do like the RIUs, is also the ability to visit the other resorts while I'm staying at the Palace. When I went to the RIU Palace, Mexico on a small guys trip, we ended up having a blast visiting the other resorts when they had their beach volleyball games going on, and also another few activities on the beach that they had. So we would go to their resorts and play with them, and then we would go back to our Palace resorts to sit on the beach, find those perfect chairs that we liked, and have those great drinks from the wait staff serving us. It was amazing.
Well, yeah, even though the RIU Bamboo or even the RIU Negril is not part of the Palace experience, it has all the facilities except for the exchange privileges.
Oh, fantastic. And speaking about the RIU Bamboo and resorts in the Dominican, have either of you had a chance to experience one of the RIU pool parties yet?
Oh my God, yeah, I have. The pool parties are amazing. They have different theme parties. There is a DJ playing music. There are sections that offer food, like pub style food, finger foods, and of course alcohol. There are 2 pools on 2 different levels to fit everyone, and the foam parties are awesome. They even bus in guests from other RIUs so that all the RIU guests can experience it. Having an option like that is at your hotel would be a great option for bachelorette parties, birthday celebrations, grad trips, or any other celebration.
Oh, that does sound amazing. But when I went there, I didn't really get to see any pool parties, but I did scope out that crazy waterside park in Punta Cana.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some great water parks that they've been adding to the RIU complexes as well. So yeah, you will find one in Punta Cana, in Los Cabos, Costa Mujeres, Ocho Rios, and Mazatlan, Mexico as well.
Wow, that's just one other wonderful thing about the RIUs, and what my loyal RIU customers love about them as well is that the RIUs are always looking for ways to improve their guest experience, with adding those water parks at Mazatlan and Ocho Rios to even overhauling the look at the resort, the RIU Palace Punta Cana. And also, not to mention, my favorite part of it is the adults only water park at the RIU Republica.
Yeah.
Sure.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Well, let's check in with Shannon one more time and see if she has any more questions for us.
Boy, do I have a lot of questions that have come in. We've got a lot of engaged viewers here, so we'll try and get through them all. I can't make any promises, but certainly we will stay behind after and answer any questions we don't get to. But I quickly just wanted to mention that I've also been to several RIUs as well, and they are amazing. I also love the consistency. I know that I can go to any RIU anywhere, and I'm going to expect the same quality and consistency. So, and I've actually had the opportunity to stay at the RIU in New York, and it's an awesome location. Definitely would highly recommend that spot. So really great location if you're doing a cruise from New York as well at some point. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that quickly. So we'll get to the questions. Someone asked, do all the RIUs have the COVID testing now? Do they provide proper documentation to get home? And what are the cancellation terms for RIUs? Regina, I'm going to put that one to you, and certainly if you want to have anybody else engage in that as well, you can. It's kind of a loaded question.
It is. I would say that they're trying to get the majority of the RIU properties to have the COVID testing on site so that guests don't have to worry about leaving their resorts or going off any off property in order to get the COVID testing done in order to come back to Canada. However, pricing may vary from each destination. Not sure, but they are doing their very best to try to keep it consistent throughout all the RIU resorts.
Yeah. And we can specifically answer that if you want to reach out to one of the agents directly. Their emails are in the chat there, and also they'll be at the end of the presentation on a screen where you can shot that. The next question here is, does RIU have adult-only locations? James, did you want to answer that question?
So RIUs do have a few adult-only locations. So kind of like my favorite one is the RIU Republica. It's adults only, and it actually has that adults-only water park, so no little kids are going to be around. But yeah, they do have adults only kind of throughout all their locations. They've got some, the main one that I can think off the top of my head is the one in Jamaica. They kind of created the RIU Montego Bay, RIU Palace, Jamaica, and RIU Reggae, which are kind of 3 properties all side by side to be now adults only, all 3 of them. So it's a great fun environment over there.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually been to those properties, but obviously not since they've made those changes. So thank you, James. So the next question here is, what are the safety precautions during COVID if we choose to travel? Denise, do you want to take that one?
For sure, yeah. So back in November, I did have the opportunity to travel down to Mexico to kind of experience the process that people are going through. So I have to say that at least out of Toronto, that was my experience. It was seamless. It was very organized. There's lots of direction. There were lots of people to answer any questions that you may have. But essentially, masks on as soon as you enter into the airport and on board the aircraft. There are so many hand sanitization stations located around the resorts as well. So definitely make sure that you're utilizing those. When you are entering into the buffet areas, you will again still be required to wear your masks at those times, and the same in the general restaurants. Once you sit down and you're eating, of course, you can remove them. Buffets, I know that's a question a lot of people have. They are open, but they are changed. So you will no longer be serving yourself, essentially. So there is a staff member at the buffet, and you will just kind of let them know what item that you're looking for to be added onto your plate, and they will dish it out for you for sure. But yeah, there's lots of protocols in place
for sure. And the next question there was, do they still have buffets? So you just answered that question. Thank you.
I knew it.
It's very popular.
Just wanted to chime in as well. There is on our YouTube page the My Sullifications, the RIU protocols that they're doing as well. So if I think there is going to be a link at the end of the page as well. If you want to check that out, you can definitely see those as well. And then also just a lot of the resorts are doing reduced occupancy. So that way there's going to be more space for everyone. And then with the reduced occupancies, they've also kind of clustered the beds together. It's like the beach chairs. So you're not really side by side anymore. It's kind of a little spaced out there too.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All great information. Next question here is, how long is the bus ride to the resort in Costa Rica? I don't know who wants to take that one.
Since it was my favorite, I'll answer that one. It is a little bit lengthy in my opinion, but it's about a 40-minute drive. With the RIUs, though, we didn't get dropped off at any other hotels beforehand. They kind of want to stick with the RIUs together because it's the RIU Guanacaste and the RIU Palace right side by side. So there shouldn't be anyone else from another hotel on your bus ride. So it should just be a straight 40-minute drive.
Perfect. Excellent. The next one here is, someone asked, are the pools currently open? I know that that's a yes, but Regina, do you want to expand on that?
Yes, the pools are definitely open. The only question right now will be the swim-up bars. Most of the swim-up bars are not open. Some are, some aren't. Not a lot on all the resorts, but the one thing is all the pools are open as of now, yes.
Excellent. Thanks, Regina.
You're welcome.
And a comment here is, someone had said the RIU in Mazatlan was great and now it's being upgraded too. Someone commented that. That's nice, nice info.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Thanks for sharing that. And they also asked, is there a new RIU in Puerto Plata? Denise, would you know that?
Ooh,
I don't believe there is.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I can definitely look into that if you want to
closed
send
or
me an email.
changed names.
I can look into that for you, for sure.
Yep. Yep, for sure. And your email is what, Denise?
Ajax@selloffvacations.com.
Excellent. Another question there, someone asked about adult-only locations there, so that's a repeated question. We already answered that one. Next one is, how far is the RIU Baja California from downtown Cabo San Lucas, and is it across from the famous arches? Would any of you know that answer? No? Okay.
This is the moderator here. I've actually been there before, and I can answer it.
All right.
It is
Yeah.
actually one of the closest all-inclusive hotels to the Cabo San Lucas area, so really ideal if you're looking for nightlife. And I would say the budget, depending on the time of day and how many people, about $15 to $20 US to take that cab ride in. And I do recommend a cab ride, even though it is super close. It is really, really hot to walk. You don't realize how hot it is once you move away from those trees. So
wow.
Hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Kim. That's fabulous.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah. There's so many RIUs. We don't know everything about every single one of them. There's just so many.
For sure.
The next question here is, we have booked the RIU Costa Rica in January. What would you recommend for either an excursion as well as which restaurants are your favorite? This is for my wife's 40th and we are going as a group, assuming they're meaning January of 2022. But James, I think maybe you could take that one.
Yeah, so for when my wife and I went, we went on kind of our anniversary as well. So it's a great location for it. So good choice. The excursions, we did one every other day. So we did 3 excursions when we were down there. If I were to pick my favorite one, it was going to be I think it's called the Mega Bona Vista excursion. So it's kind of like a full day thing that you can do a lot of like horseback riding, zip lining, cement water slide, which was a lot of fun. A lot of different things that you can do within that tour, and it's kind of a full day excursion. So it was really well worth the money there. In terms of a restaurant, I did really like the Italian food one there, but their buffet was great. I think we ate at that buffet one more than we normally do when we go to the different RIUs. I do remember the shrimp there being really good. So they're like nice big shrimps, not like just the small ones that you see sometimes. So that was one thing that really stood out to us, was like kind of like the seafood there.
Nice. I'd love that shrimp for sure.
Yeah.
The next one here is from Barbara. She said, I love the RIU Palace Cabo San Lucas. Buffet was amazing. And then she just asked, how is food and buffet service affected by COVID, which we've already answered, but I did want to include her comments there. The next one here, what's the difference between a resort that has palace in its name? Is that something one of you want to take?
Sure.
Denise?
Well, the main difference is it's an elevated experience, essentially. So you will find a lot of similarities. Of course, they're both going to have pools, bars, restaurants, that kind of thing. But you may find that the Palace Resorts maybe have a couple more restaurants, a couple more pools, a couple more bars, that kind of thing. You're also getting those upgraded amenities like the 24-hour Wi-Fi, the 24-hour room service. Yeah. So there's a few little things that elevate the experience, essentially, that make it a Palace Resort.
And the exchange privileges as well. So if you're staying at the Palace and there's another one beside it, you have the exchange privileges to the other RIU resort as well.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's a big one too, for sure. The next one here is, and I'm going to actually take this myself since I've been to this property. Can you walk from the RIU in New York to Times Square? Yes, you definitely can. It's probably only about 5, max 10 minutes if it's really busy, which it usually is, but very, very, very close. One of the closer ones.
2.5, 3 blocks, I think.
Yeah, super close. So great location. Moving on to the next question here. Other than the pool parties, what other entertainment is there? Regina, did you have maybe an answer for that?
Yeah, I do. Not only do they have the nightly entertainment always every night at the main theater, they also offer some light entertainment throughout the resort at the lobby bar, I would say, more so in the lobby area. There are bars throughout the resort, and if you just wanted to continue partying it up, then obviously you can get to the Pacha Disco at night in the main complex, located in the main complex of the resort. Yeah.
That sounds good. Perfect. Another question here is, Let's see. What do you recommend for the RIU Jamaica? James, you had talked about those briefly. Did you want to touch on that? I guess maybe like there's several RIUs in Jamaica, actually, not just in Montego Bay.
Yep.
I know there's been lots of renovations recently. Yeah,
talk about that. So it really depends on your size of your family and who's traveling. There's 2 in Negril side. There's the few in Montego Bay, and then there's the RIU Ocho Rios on the Ocho side. So kind of you hit the whole stretch of Montego Bay. If you have family and want water slides and such, then RIU Ocho Rios is definitely the better choice for you. If you're adults only, then wanting adults only, then either the 3 in Montego Bay, or you can go over to the Negril side. If you want to send me an email at northyork@selloffvacations.com, we can talk further about which one would definitely be a better fit for you and your family.
Yeah, for sure. And I was actually booked to go to the RIU Ocho Rios March 2020, which fell through obviously with COVID. We were taking our kids and lots of friends and family and their kids, and certainly disappointed we didn't get to do that, but we'll plan it for another time for sure. I don't know how many more questions we can get to, maybe a couple more, but I promise we will answer them in the chat if we don't get to them live. Let's see here. Someone's comment said, my favorite is RIU Palace Aruba. Have been 6 times. Shopping is awesome in Aruba. Very good.
Aruba's on
my bucket list too.
Big time.
Let's all go together, guys.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
That's a plan. Other than in Caribbean and Mexico, are there any other all-inclusives? That's a good question. I think, Denise, I'll put that to you.
For sure, yeah. So there are all-inclusives really all over the world. So the one that I stayed in Mauritius, that was an all-inclusive. There's Spain, Portugal. There's a new one in Dubai that's opened up. That's all-inclusive as well. So yeah, lots of variety as far as all-inclusives outside of the Caribbean.
Perfect. I think that's all we're going to do for now for the live segment, but again, we will definitely get to the rest of the questions in the chat. We'll reply that way before the end of the presentation. And one other question that did come in is they asked if there was any promotions currently, and I think we're going to touch on that here shortly. So we'll continue with the presentation and certainly listen in for that info from the agents here.
Thanks, Shannon. Well, a lot of questions, a lot of great questions.
There's a lot more too, but yeah, we'll
a lot of great questions. It's great property, that's for sure, because there's so many great things about the RIU resorts. I honestly, I cannot wait to travel again and to get to one, especially the ones that are on my bucket list, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get on another plane. That's one thing I loved about traveling was the plane ride. So hopefully soon. And then I also do have customers that were already inquiring about booking in 2022, which is amazing.
Oh yeah, me too. Lots of people inquiring about traveling in small groups. I guess they just want to just keep it in the bubble, just to be safe.
Yeah, I've had lots of inquiries as well. I think going forward, especially, with the situation that we're in, small groups and family bubble travel is going to continue to be very popular. And I think it's going to be a way that a lot of people are going to wish to travel in the future. But we do have some great group options, just kind of touching back on the promotions that Shannon was asking about. You can get a group of 8 adults together to get a group rate for some really fantastic rates. So.
Well, that's great that the RIUs only have a small group of 8 people required. That's really only 4 couple friends, or even 2 big families of 4. Sunwing has also announced their promo called the Freedom 21-22, which does allow us to book vacations for next year with a low deposit of only $100 per person. It does also include their price drop cash back for up to $400 per person for Blue Diamond and RIU Resorts. And also a later final payment date, and also their new change in cancel policy.
Yeah, actually, James, in addition to that, to the small group promo with RIU Resorts, Sunwing is also offering destination wedding promos. So Sunwing is offering a free upgrade to the Platinum Wedding Planning Services, which is a value of almost $1,000 for free. Group savings of up to $400 per couple, and for the bride and groom, they get a $500 anniversary future travel credit. I've booked many RIU weddings in the past and had fantastic responses, and adding this promo is a great value to the bride and groom, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of our presentation here, guys. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today, and especially for all of those questions. That was a lot. But as we said, we will have Pam and Erica in our chat function to answer any questions that we may have missed. We would like to welcome you to call Sell Off Vacations today. We're open until 9 p.m. Eastern tonight if you have any questions. And our agents can be reached at 1-877-735-5633. Or you can contact any of us three directly, and our contacts should just be coming up on the screen any moment here where you can take a screenshot as well. Now we will be back next week with another presentation, and we definitely encourage you to visit our website and sign up for our weekly newsletter as well. The newsletter itself will keep you up to date on all of our current promotions, and we'll also have the information on our upcoming presentations. So please join us next week, February 17th, for Cruise Talk, and we hope you will join us again. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks
Thank
for joining.
you. Thanks for joining.
Bye.